Hello guys and welcome back. So now in this video we will make this inventory UI workable. So for that, in the scripts folder, go inside the player UI and health, and in here create a new C# script by the name of weapons menu. Then if you click on this weapon menu, drag and drop this script right here, and then let's open this up. Let me close these other scripts. Okay, and then let's remove the start and update method from here. And now at the top we need a reference to our weapons menu UI. So for that we will say public game object, since this is the reference to the weapons menu UI, so we will name this as weapons menu UI. Then after this we will create a bool by the name of weapons menu active. This bool will check if the inventory or weapons menu is active or not. Okay, then after this we need a reference to our main camera, so we will say public game object main camera. Then after this create a header by the name of weapons, and now inside this header we will create a reference to all of the weapons UI images, okay, which is in the weapons menu. So let's start from the first one. We will say public game object, let's name this as weapon 1, then copy this, paste it down below 3 times, change this to weapon 2, 3, 4. Then we need a reference to the weapon 4 stock, in which we show the number of grenades. Okay, so this is a reference to that. Name this as weapon 4 stock UI. Okay, so this was the references to the weapons. Now we also need the references to the energy and health bottles as well. So as you know, that is inside the rations header, so we will name this as rations as well. And first of all we will create a reference to the health bottle, and then to the energy bottle. And after this we need a reference to the inventory script, so we will say public inventory, and let's name this reference as inventory as well. Then we will create a update method in which we will now activate and deactivate the weapons menu. So as you know that in most of the games we can see our inventory by using the tab button, so we will be using the same logic in this one as well. So we will say if input dot get key down, and that key is the tab key, so keycode dot tab. Okay, and we will also check that if the weapons menu active is false. Okay, which means that if the menu is not already opened. Okay, so when it is not already opened we will open the weapon menu. Okay, then let's copy this if condition and write down below. We will say now else if. In this else if we will now close the weapon menu. So in order to close the weapon menu we will use the same button for closing the weapon menu, but we will change this to true. Okay, so what this means that if the weapon menu is already active, okay, and the player presses the tab button, then we will simply close the weapon menu. Now in order to open up the menu we will say weapons menu UI dot set active. We will set this to true. Okay, and also when the menu is active we will set this weapons menu active to true as well, because now the player is seeing the weapons menu, and when the player is seeing the weapons menu, or you can say the weapons menu is active, Then we want to pause the game when the menu is active. Okay, so for that we will say time dot time scale. We will set this to 0. Then in order to close the menu, we will copy that code, paste it down below, and change this from true to false, since we will be deactivating the weapons menu UI, and also we will be setting this weapons menu active to false. And also right here, make sure that you change this time scale to 1. Okay, it was 0, so make sure that you change this to 1, because right here when we activate the weapons menu, we stop the time, or you can say we pause the game. So right here when we remove the weapons menu, we need to reset the time back to normal, or you can say to unpause the game. Okay, so make sure that you change this to 1 as well. Then get back to Unity. Right here now we need to assign all of these. So first of all, drag and drop this background inside this weapons menu UI. Okay, this background is inside the weapon menu. Okay, so drag and drop it right there. Then the main camera, so we will drag and drop the main camera, and then right here we need to assign the weapons. So if we open up this background, okay, then open up each of this weapon. Okay, inside the weapon 1 we have the image, then 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so drag and drop the weapon 1 image right here, then the weapon 2 image, okay, then the weapon 3, then 4, and also the weapon 4 stock as well. So drag and drop the weapon 4 stock there, and then it needs the inventory script. So as you know, the inventory script is attached to the player right here, as you can see. So what we can do is simply drag and drop the player in there, okay, and it will automatically select the inventory script. Now what we will do right here is deactivate this menu, okay, and then play the game. Okay, so now as you can see, the game is started and everything is working normal, but if we go ahead and press the tab button, the game pause, and as you can see it shows the weapons menu. But now if we press the tab button again, it will remove the menu, and as you can see the game is now unpaused. Okay, but if I make the window maximize, okay, and then open up the weapons menu, if you notice our main camera is moving. You can notice the main camera right here, okay, on this edges it is showing a little bit of that. As you can see, we can still rotate our main camera. Okay, so let me tell you how we can fix this problem. So as you know, we already have a reference to our main camera. Now what we want to do right here, when we show the weapons menu and pause the game, we want the main camera script, okay, which is on the main camera game object. We want that script to be disabled. So for that we will say main camera dot get component. We want to get the camera controller script. Okay, so we will say camera controller, and we want to disable that script, so we will say dot enabled equals to false. Okay, and then when we remove the weapon menu and set the time back to normal, right here we want to change this to true, because we want to enable that script again. So now if we get back right here, click on this main camera, as you can see the script name is main camera controller, and if you notice right here we just type camera controller. So make sure that you type main as well in the start or whatever you name this script. Okay, get back right here. Then as you know that we have already attached the main camera game object, so we are good to play the game. And when we play the game, as you can see, here is everything. Now if we press the tab button, and now as you can see the camera is not moving at all, because we deactivate the camera controller script. As you can see the camera is now not moving. But if we unpause the game, or you can say remove the main menu, now as you can see the player can walk around perfectly fine. Okay, now the next thing which we want to do is we want to show these weapons one by one whenever the player picks it. Okay, so for example, if the player picks the sword, then we will only show the sword icon, and if the player picks all of them, then we will show all of the icons like that. Okay, so we will do that in the next video.